Facebook, you're live on TREF. You're going live on TREF YouTube. You're not live on TREF YouTube.
All right. Hey, peace, Tulsa Real Estate Fund family, friends, supporters. I'm going to allow everyone to get started in these live streams. We have my personal live streams going, but you all going on all the Tulsa Real Estate Fund pages. We have a very special announcement to make on this TREF Talks Tuesday. Happy Black Wall Street Day to everyone. Yesterday, June 1st, was Black Wall Street Day. Also the anniversary of the 2-year anniversary of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund IPO. Coming live from the Black House is Jay Morrison. For those who don't know, CEO, founder, fund manager of the historic Tulsa Real Estate Fund. I'm going to allow everybody to kind of come in here. The title of today's live stream, TREF Talks Tuesdays, every first Tuesday. Today's subject line is Good News Report. There is frustration, not in the air, there's frustration in real life, on the ground. There's frustration in Atlanta, in Minneapolis, in Houston, in New Jersey, in New York, all over the country, LA. There's frustration, there's been frustration, there's been persecution, there's been burdensome treatment, oppression, there's been tyranny, there's been second-class citizenship in real life, especially for Africans in America. And I understand the climate. Y'all know very well I understand the climate. I'm attached to the climate, and I'm committed to contributing my life, energy, resources, business acumen, whatever else I can give, money, time, freedom, my life if I have to help advance humanity by the condition and the improved condition of my people, my race, in America and throughout the African diaspora. So I come to you again as the fund manager of Tulsa Real Estate Fund, America's first black-owned real estate crowd fund. We represent 15,000 prospective TREF partners and over $12.5 million of their and our capital that is in the real estate market and in the business market. And we represent those 15,000 prospective partners in 22 different countries. We own a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio. We're coming live from our building, the Black House, that we own together. No mortgage, no lender, no note, free and clear, 30,000 square foot building, 2.6 acre campus, 2 miles from Tyler Perry's studio, 5 minutes from the world's busiest airport, Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. So this is not about real estate though, this lecture. I have an update for you. It's a good news report for all those streaming, watching, sharing, and liking. Please stream and like. I got some good news. In this climate, I got some good news for the culture. And I got more good news and solutions on the way. And I thank God for our pain. I thank God for our suffering. I thank the Most High, Allah, Jehovah, God, Jah, Yah, the highest power, the universe, however you see him, her, or it, Mother Nature. I thank the Most High for our pain, for our suffering, for the fire, because the fire is purifying us, and the fire is bringing us closer to him, and the fire is unifying us, and the timing is now. So I'll bring to you good news. Please like, comment, share. To my Tulsa Real Estate Fund family first. My family, my partners, my co-owners, my co-partners, those who invested and believed in me and my vision, my wife and I's vision and work, our team's vision, this unified vision of building a infrastructure and a vehicle to be able to produce Black Wall Street-like communities all throughout America, to be able to practice group economics in real life, to be able to execute the largest act of group economics ever for a black-owned company in the history of America, and to be doing it from our own building in real life. I'll bring to you good news. So I'm going to read this letter, a message from the CEO and fund manager. If you guys go to tulsarealestatefund.com, you can join our email list where you get these newsletters and updates. But what I want to share with you all is this message from myself, the CEO, fund manager, and founder of our company. Greetings, TREF family. As TREF investment partners, many of you get an early addition to the following message, which now all you guys are getting. Our team, our TREF partners got this earlier this morning. But it's such great news that it's worth repeating and sharing with our wider audience of friends, vendors, contractors, and partners. Yes, we've created nearly 100 jobs in the last 2 years, most of which with the Black-owned companies, contractors, and vendors as well as funding several Black-owned development companies, including Black women, for nearly $1 million in funding in the last 2 years. And with the present state of our national and global climate, we thought that now would be an appropriate time to offer light during a time that can appear to be dark. We recognize what we're in. We in it. As the first fully owned and managed African-American real estate crowd fund, we understood that at the onset, we had a mountain to climb. While excited to increase opportunities of financial growth and generational wealth, we knew that Tulsa Real Estate Fund would not escape the challenges that have faced our ancestors as they work to break down barriers that separate us from the majority. Posturing ourselves accordingly, we were prepared when the SEC and the Department of Justice initiated investigations against TREF. As many of you guys may know, the last 18 months, about 18 months ago, we were subpoenaed by the DOJ, the FBI, the Department of Justice, and were subpoenaed by the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission. They subpoenaed to receive documents, upwards 50,000 to 100,000 emails, financial records, financial audits, information all about our company, and our practices, underwriting models, etc. We were subpoenaed and have literally been under a probe or investigation the last 18 months, whether you guys knew it or not, whether our energy showed it or not. Myself, the fund, our families felt this, my daughters felt this, my wife certainly felt this. We were under a scrutiny of an investigation, and we also had, is it rubbing? Okay, excuse me. Sorry guys, I mic'd myself and I tried something new and it apparently wasn't it. That's what's the problem. All right, excuse me. Pardon me for that. So again, we've documented this, it's been transparent, we've disclosed this, but for the last 18 months, whether you know it or not, we've been under 2 government investigations. The FBI, which is also called the DOJ, Department of Justice, and the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, has subpoenaed us and has, and been investigating us while we've been developing real estate, lending out capital, functioning every day as entrepreneurs and as staff and as a family, but we were under an 18-month investigation. Although that time frame for the investigation seemed ongoing, we waited patiently and at times impatiently, understanding that the seriousness of the matter warranted the wait. We received notice that the SEC has concluded their investigation. This is as of last week. Last Thursday, we received notice from our attorneys that the SEC has concluded their investigation and are not recommending any additional actions against the Tulsa Real Estate Fund or myself. We were holding out for this confirmation, which came a few months, this is actually, the DOJ was several months ago. They concluded the investigation. The SEC last week. We are holding out on this information. We came a few months after the Department of Justice also concluded their investigation with no findings. Needless to say, we are more than elated about both outcomes. So long story short, the results came in last week, if you will, or the finding from the SEC. And after an 18-month investigation, the SEC concluded their investigation with no recommendation or no infraction and recommendation, how they put it, or I'm trying to get the exact wording. No recommendation for any, it's a word with an E and I can't remember right now. But yes, no recommendation for any action to be taken against myself or the fund. Several months ago, the DOJ concluded their investigation with no recommended action as well. So in these times of distress and frustration, we thought for you and our partners, those who support us, we want to offer you some bit of relief that we felt, and that I think will be relief for our 15,000 plus prospective partners, and certainly for our staff and our family, that our fund and the investigation that we have been under for 18 months has now concluded, and there's been no action taken against our company or your brother, your partner, fund manager, myself. And so I think that, considering all the scrutiny that we've endured and the pressure and burden that we felt that is good news. I mean, again, we can't do a victory lap right now as the times are what they are. But we did feel it responsible to alert our audience, alert our partners, alert our TREF community that you can say, hey, whatever you thought, whatever you heard, the SEC and the FBI both had investigations for 18 months and subpoenas of emails, financials, and everything else on Jay and TREF. And both the SEC and the FBI have concluded their investigations with no action taken against the fund, or no action recommended to be taken against the fund. So, those agencies can always pop back up. They reserve the right? They're to do their jobs. And we reserve the right to continue to do our job, maintain our focus, and so serve our community, serve our partners, and continue to practice and show a level of unity and group economics in real life. It's important to note that Tulsa Real Estate Fund was birthed out of the Freddie Gray uprising. I literally thought of the concept, or I would say God gave me the concept and vision during a panel for BET with Tamika Mallory next to me and Mysol and the General there, Mark Lamont Hill there, brother Jeff or cousin Jeff there, and the crowd screamed out they want to build a Black Wall Street. And I said, well, what does that look like? How do we accomplish it? And I thought of this model of group economics through a regulated and transparent economic vehicle. And it took 3 years before we IPO'd June 1st of 2018, yesterday, on our 2-year anniversary. It took 3 years to develop this fund and this concept. And again, out of the Freddie Gray uprising, a time just like now, we emerged with the first ever Black-owned real estate crowdfunding in the history of America. So what I'm leaving and charging you with is, in these frustrating times, I was told there's no such thing as problems, there's only lack of solutions. Please, everybody, share, comment, like, and I want you to take this quote, credit me, but take this quote, use this quote, share this quote. There are no such thing as problems, there are only a lack of solutions. When you find a solution or an antidote to the diagnosis, the problem no longer exists. And so we all act and operate through our frustration with that kind of spirit. We can better the community, we can better humanity, we can better the America that we see today. And so that's my charge of you all, is to not highlight and get engulfed in the problems, not critique and criticize those trying to come up with the answers and solutions, but to you yourself think, strategize, plan, and come up with solutions, even if they're 3 years or 5 years or 10 years away. And then edify and support, and don't down those who are enacting and executing or attempting to do something to help solve the problems we see today. Because many entrepreneurs or activists or political members of our community will attempt things that won't work, a policy, a business, or an idea, but they're doing it in the spirit of solving something that no one has solved for us. The government's not going to solve it for us. There's nobody coming out of the air and sky to solve it for us. It's something we must do for ourselves. And so it's important that we edify and support and be patient with those who are offering solutions and trying to birth solutions for our oppressed and distressed, brutalized community. And so I want to charge you all to be a part of the solution, and please remove yourself from being a part of the problem. We've got enough problems as it is. And I know what that burden feels like, and many of us know what that burden feels like. So today, again, we'll have another time to, in essence, highlight or bask in this moment, which is a relief for us and our fund. Right now, we want to get back to the work, back to the community, back to solutions. But we did want to alert and highlight and let you all know that as of last week, the SEC investigation of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund and myself, the fund manager of the fund, was concluded with no enforcement action. That's the word I was looking for, with the E. No enforcement action recommended to the commission. And so that is something that we can take a little a breath of fresh air for. I love y'all. I've been doing this out of love. I still continue to do it out of love. I just want to see my people in a better place and make sure that I'm doing my damnedest part to get us to a better place. Whether that means being on the front line, whether it means being up in the office, whether that means donating, whether that means speaking, whether that means fighting, whether that means funding, whatever it is we got to do by any means necessary really means, but what that king said, what that man said, what our forefathers said, by any means necessary. By any means necessary really means to the best of your capacity, to the fullest of your gifts, to the utmost of your potential and your energy. That's by any means necessary, right? Is by putting it all on the table, right? Risking it all, whether that be risking your reputation, whether that means risking being on the front line, whether that means risking your freedom, risking investigations, whether that means risking your dollars, risking whatever. That's all by any means necessary. And if we don't bring that kind of energy to the table, it's going to be Freddie Gray, then it's going to be Ahmaud Arbery or George Floyd, and it's, God forbid, it's going to be someone else or something else in the future. And we're not going to be able to, we're going to be again in the same predicament. And I'm all about, and TREF's all about progressing our predicament. Again, thank you. I can hold you all night. Appreciate y'all. It's all love. TREF Life for Life. Thank you to all my partners who believed in us and me and our firm from day one and continued support. Thank you guys for your continued prayers and support. Now, let's all of us challenge ourselves to be a part of this holistic, comprehensive solution. Let's rally together and move more in love, move more in unity, and let's fight these human rights crimes and violations, this brutality, this persecution, this genocide, this oppression, this tyranny that's happening.